You want to know the easiest way to start a conversation when you walk into a networking event or a conference? First of all, you got to think about the mindset. Remember, absolutely everybody there is there to meet somebody new. They wouldn't have gotten out of bed. They wouldn't have left their hotel room if they didn't believe this. They know the value of meeting somebody, or else they wouldn't be at a networking event. So think about it in the sense that you're doing every person you introduce yourself a great service by making that easy for them. This applies to the two people that showed up together and haven't stopped talking to each other. It applies to the person that looks like they're checking their email on their phone. And it applies to the person sitting alone at a table when every other table has multiple people. Save them from their own insecurities and be their hero. Remember that. So now let's talk about the perfect opportunities for an introduction. When you first arrive, if you're in an elevator, if this is a multiple level building, you're going to share an elevator with somebody. It doesn't hurt anything to ask, hey, are you going to this event also? Right? If they say yes, boom, you're walking in with a buddy. You already have a friend. At the registration line, every single one of these events have some sort of check-in procedure where you're inevitably going to be 2 or 3 people deep before you pick up your name tag. That's the perfect moment to turn to the person in front of you, turn to the person behind you, introduce yourself, your pick on who you want to talk to. Now, when you're inside the event space, maybe you walked in, you didn't make a connection with any of these people, it's a little bit different. Every single networking event has some kind of floater, somebody walking around the room looking longingly, trying to not look long, or trying not to look longingly for somewhere or someone to stop and have a conversation with. Be that person's, be their hero. Introduce yourself to them. You're doing them a huge favor by not letting them look like the poor schmo by themselves, right? There's also always going to be a bar or a food line, right? If you get into some kind of moment where you're at a pause, you can go to any of those lines. And again, you're in a line. You can introduce yourself to the person in front of you or the person behind you. If there's any kind of table, look for any table, any amount of people that are there. You see an open chair. All you got to do is ask, is this seat taken? First person that answers, hey, my name is Pablo Gonzalez. Voila, you're in a conversation. So next thing to think about when you're starting a conversation, good conversations are not about what you tell people. They're about how you make people feel. So don't focus on what you're going to say. Focus on asking good questions that allow your friends to open up about something they care about. Don't focus on landing a customer or convincing someone of something. Focus on providing value to them. This will make them happy to talk or meet up with you next time. What brings you here, right? That's my number one go-to. This allows the new person you're talking to tell you their motivation for being there. Maybe they're there for business. Maybe they're there for a cause. Maybe they're there because they just needed to get out the house and make some new friends. Either way, when you know someone's motivation, it's easier to provide them value and it's easier to connect with them. Another good one, how's business or what are you working on these days? Notice I'm not asking what you do or what do you do. That's a canned question. You're going to get a canned response. The way you phrase a question greatly impacts the outcome of your answer. These two questions allow the subject to give you insight into a pain or a pleasure point. If you can help reduce pain or increase pleasure, you're providing value. And remember, you don't have to have a solution for someone. All you need to do is ask probing questions that allows them to either see a problem from a new perspective or just help them process the scenario. Another one, what are you looking forward to these days? How sick are you about talking about work, right? Chances are so is this person. Asking someone about their hobbies provides great insight into who they are and what they're about. This is just a universal way to ask what they do for fun or what trips they have coming up without pigeonholing them into either response. Instead, it makes them pause, think of something that brings them joy, and they have you to thank for it. That by itself is valuable.